Now, with the benefit of history, right? You can look back on all these different manuals and stuff like that. Was somebody's kung fu actually stronger? Like, were the Italians better duelists than the Spaniards, or was one sword objectively better than another? Like, was somebody's kung fu stronger?
No, not really. I mean, it always comes down to who is the individual that's actually participating, and how lucky are they on that day. And in this case, MMA is a good comparison because we do see people that come from more of a wrestling background, or people that come from a more Muay Thai background, or a jiu-jitsu background. They all kind of cross train with each other, but nobody had ever, over the course of time, nobody has ever clearly been the dominant, tradition in that particular sport. And again, it just comes down to who is the individual that's doing it, how good are they, and how good are they on that day. And also, what if it's a dueling type of situation, if it's different types of weapons, certain weapons do have inherent, benefits over others. Range is a big deal. Range really matters. If I've got somebody that's threatening me with a rapier, or with an arming sword, a single-handed arming sword, my best bet is to stand back and use a spear. You know, Anytime that I can hit my opponent and not be in range to be hit, that's a good thing. Of course, their strategy is going to be to close and try and eliminate my reach. And that's where, the physical chess comes into it. So, that being said, I don't think there's any one particular tradition or one particular region that was clearly better or more dominant than others. Although once we start getting out of the 1700s and into the 1800s, as firearms start taking over the battlefield, we really see a sharp decline in the skill set and the training of swordsmanship. It becomes less relevant. It becomes very militarized and very, brief in the way that they train people. And then it just, disappears entirely. It no longer becomes relevant. But yeah, right around that mid 1700s, getting into the 1800s, we really start seeing after that a sharp decline in the martial skill set of swords people.
And yeah, you said it essentially ended entirely. You said this was a dead martial art in that there are no more masters.
Correct.
All our students, which I kind of like actually, is just a concept. All our students. I imagine we will create our own masters in time, but yeah, there is that whole thing of when you're actually trying to kill somebody versus not. Well,
Right.
We're coming down towards the end. We have one more question from the chat and one more question from me, and we'll start with the one from the chat. How does someone get started in HEMA?
All right. Great question. There is an organization, or at least a group called the HEMA Alliance, and they got a Facebook page, they got a website. The best thing is to look that up, and they have some sort of a club finder tool there where you can plug in your zip code and find the organizations that are closest to you. And that's really the perfect place to get started. And from there, you'll have people that can inform you on what type of gear to get, if they can get you any discounts, which is always helpful, and start your training that. So if somebody wants to get into HEMA, I would say find the HEMA Alliance and use their club locator tool and find something that's local to you. If nothing is local to you, there are tons and tons of instructional videos on YouTube on how to get started. Pick a weapon that you want to start with, whether it be longsword, rapier, sword and buckler, dagger, Italian longsword, slightly different than German longsword, broadsword, whatever you want to do, and start, doing research, and you'll find there are texts out there that can help you out. The other really fantastic website that everybody absolutely must visit is called Wichtenauer. It's a wiki page, and one of the kind of godfathers of Western martial arts, or historical swordsmanship, was a man named Johann Lichtenauer. And way back in the 1400s, I think, early 1400s, mid 1400s. And so it's Wigtonauer is the name of the website. And they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of digitized swordsmanship manuals and original source material for free available on that page. So that is a great, great source to start studying.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, here's my last question, and then we'll start to wrap up. I feel like we need to finish your character arc here. Just as a writer, I've got to, because we had your experience where you got into HEMA, where you were a fencer and a HEMA martial artist, showed you how much more of the world there was, shall we say.
Sure.
Can you give me a story on the other end of that? What was your glory moment? What was your finest moment in HEMA where you won the fight, slew the dragon, got the girl, whatever? Like, I'm really asking you to brag here. What was your greatest moment here?
You know, I don't know that I really have a specific moment like that. I'll tell you what really, really makes me happy, though. When I see that I've introduced somebody to something that makes them happy. When I've helped somebody with research, even if it's just for research or helping them with their book or with their screenplay or with their fight choreography, if I collaborate with another person to create something that is enjoyable for them or fulfills a goal for them or fulfills even a fantasy for them, as far as, I want to be in a movie, where I can be one of these types of people, and to see them experience that joy of, for this day, I was that guy, or for this day, I was that woman that got to do this thing that, I just dreamt about. To me, those are the type of, moments that really solidify it for me at this point. I'm to the age now where I'm not really competing all that much. It's kind of a young man's game or young person's game. And it can also, it can get a little costly, and with, family responsibilities, there's certain things that just kind of take by the wayside, but nothing really beats those moments where you can, you've been able to train somebody. I do recall one film that I worked on where a guy was really struggling to get his choreography. It was a movie about a stage production. And there was a duel scene in the stage production, and he was really having a hard time getting his choreography down. And he was like, I'm going to ruin the movie. Everyone's going to hate me. And so we spent a little extra time, just drilling this thing over and over and over and over again. And he was, the day of the shoot, he was in the bathroom. He was throwing up all over the place. He was just a physical wreck. And he got out there and he nailed it. And he just did flawless, and he did perfect. And he came up to me afterwards and he's like, you made this happen. I'm like, I didn't do it. You did it. You put in the work, you put in the time, you put in the effort, you had the desire, you had the skill, and you made it happen. And so those are the glory moments for me. Those are the ones that really stick out and keep me wanting to do more.
I respect that. Yours is the joy of a teacher. Now, if there are people listening or watching later who would like to find out more about you specifically, your choreography, your book, how do we find you, Alan?
Well, I have a little bit of a presence on places like Instagram and Facebook, and I also do. I just barely started a YouTube channel, and most of it is my information about screenwriting tips and stuff like that. But I also have some sword related stuff on there as well, especially as it relates to things. For instance, I have a video on there: the 5 most overlooked weapons in fantasy. So those type of things are fun to talk about and explore. But yeah, I'm assuming we can do something in the show notes where we can get those links available. But yeah, Alan J _Right Fight is my WRITEFIGHT is my Instagram handle. And from there, you can probably find most everything else branching off from that.
Excellent. What was the name of your YouTube channel?
It's Alan Johnson's Writing and Fighting.
Writing and Fighting. I love it. Well, excellent. Alan, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
This was a great time, and let me know about that book when it comes out. I'm very
Will do.
interested.
Me too.
Awesome.